day one. Woke up to a thin blanket of snow outside, and it's quite windy, windier than it normally has been in past years. Just going through the pack one more time, packing up food and everything we'll need for the day, because who knows what can happen. Mike, Nathan, and I are going to go down south to start glassing, and then the other four guys are going to go up north. My dad, Noah, Gabe, and Josiah, and we're just going to see what's out there and see what's going on. We hunted section 9 in Wyoming. We stayed right at the blue dot is where our cabin was, and we divided the land into the south, the X-Bar, Sheep, and Albany. This is south. We can hunt the yellow and the light blue. Sheep Mountain is mainly national forest, that's that green, except on the far north there's a section of land that we can hunt. This is the X-Bar Ranch, a private ranch that they allow hunters to hunt on. And then the Albany land is where we did most of our hunting. The first morning we spent glassing the hillsides down south. Nathan, Mike, and I. It was pretty easy to do from the road, and this is what we saw. The other group, Dad, Noah, Gabe, and Josiah, decided to hike up Sheep Mountain to the square mile of land on top of it on the north. We had never hunted this section of land, so they decided to give it a shot. It was not an easy hike, as you can see how steep it is and hear how loud Josiah's breath is.
So we're up towards the top of Sheep Mountain. We've been seeing, it's opening up, we've been seeing a lot of tracks. Not totally fresh, but maybe a few days old. So we're just gonna get to the top, hope it opens up more, and see what we got.
And we gotta hike down 2 more miles.
Almost there.
Yep.
So they saw a lot of sign, but no actual elk. Seeing nothing in the morning down south, we decided to go north and hike the Albany land. We followed a 2-track trail all around the property. We started on the north side, headed east, and then went south and around.
So we are just finished eating lunch, and we're following the path that we were on, and we're coming up on this turn and this ridge, and looked up and saw what we were looking for, the animal that we're after. And I told Camden to stop, and then had my dad make sure we looked and make sure that that's what it was, and that wasn't like a moose or. We had seen a lot of mule deer, so I wanted to make sure it wasn't that. And so we made sure that's what it was, and then we went back 300 yards or so, make a plan, and try to figure out what to do and how to get a better angle at them. And as we were doing that, we went back a little bit, and then we're trying to go around. And when we were doing that, we noticed a pack of mule deer that we didn't see before. So we were like right in the middle. The elk were over here on the ridge between the trees, and then we were in between some trees that were down, some brush, and then the mule deer were just past us. So we had to wait 20-30 minutes for them to go around, and they didn't really care. My dad said that there were some afterwards that were just chilling there, not really caring. They were more intrigued and like wondering what we were.
They started following us too.
Yeah, and then they started following us.
It was weird.
So it was kind of weird. But we ended up going behind this tree that was down to give ourselves some cover. We left my dad over there with our packs, and Camden and I tried to crawl closer to the elk, and it didn't really seem like we spooked them at all, but some of them stood up for something, looking towards the past
the southwest,
the southwest area. And so we're patient, tried to wait until they would bed down again, and a couple of them bedded down, and then we would slowly crawl forward, and then Camden tried to go up a little further from where I was just to get a better angle, because there was a ton of trees. There was no good shot, no good angle, even though we were like 100 yards out from them. It wasn't bad. And Kevin said he saw 8, and then as he was trying to get a little closer, for some reason they just up and left.
The herd of elk were through those trees, and we didn't want to scare the elk by taking a chance shot. It was a tough situation that we were in, and we did the best we could in that moment. We decided not to go after them as they went into the national land, and a snowstorm came in, so we decided to go back. The next day, Saturday, we decided to head to Albany again and hike up that mountain. And as we were driving, Nathan spotted some moose. See if you can see them in the pictures. Alright, day 2. We're gonna go back up Albany, see if those elk have come back into the state land. Got a snowstorm brewing in. It's pretty windy, colder than yesterday, so this is the storm we decided to hike up in. But what else are you gonna do? Sit in the cabin? That's not hunting. Well, we worked our way around the top of Albany. It's wind in our face the whole time, but we're not going to scope anything, so might as well be hiking, do all that we can do. We're almost to the spot where they were yesterday. We'll see if they're there, and if not, we'll try to beat the snowstorm out of here.
Alright, made it back to the car. We didn't see anything, so we just headed back, tried to beat the snowstorm. It actually calmed down a little bit.
Yeah, it was a wild hike.
But, yeah. So we're just going to head back. Gabe and Dad are scoping out some state land.
Well, the storm just continued to get worse, so we did decide to go back to the cabin. Packed up again. We took a break. We thought a storm was going to come towards Jelm, but it didn't. It's more so snowing up by Albany, so we're going to stay down on the southern part. Just start glassing, see what we can see. Windows clean, so ready to go. We saw these mule deer across the road near Jelm on section 8. I think they're brave enough to weather the storm, but sadly the elk aren't. On Sunday, we went to church in the morning, and then we split up in the afternoon. Noah, Josiah, and I decided to sit on the food plot to see if the elk would come over near us. The other group decided to go around on Albany towards the east and then jump onto the national forest, see if they were over there. and hoping to either see the elk or maybe push them towards us. They did see a few tracks, and they guessed that it was a couple elk who would come during the night or early in the morning and crossed over each other. They also saw some mule deer, which is pretty common. If only we had mule deer tags. Oh yeah, that looks kind of fun. I'm glad I was sitting. Eventually we met back up and we sat just south of the food plot for the rest of the evening, but nothing decided to show up. You can see that we are really engaged in this hunt. It's very exciting this afternoon. Once again, we decided to go up to Albany. It's the hottest spot that we know of for elk. But right here we are questioning our life choices as we cannot see the top of the mountain. Well, hardly. Noah, Josiah, and Mike were smart and stayed in the vehicles to stay warm. I'll let you listen to the elements that we were dealing with. This is our setup on top Albany. The first day those elk were on that hillside straight ahead, and Nathan and I were to the left. The wind is definitely not as bad up here, and it's not snowing as much right now. It's actually peaceful, a little breezy, but still cold. That is the food plot facing the north. Here's our shelter. Gabe and Dad decided to hike along the national line. Oh, wait. Is it? Could it be? Nah. Just a mule deer. Or a rock. But you always gotta check.
Man, that was brutal. Kim and Nathan are still up there. They're gonna hopefully sit out the rest of the night, but it's brutal up there.
Nathan and I did stay out a bit longer, but as you can see, with that hazy snowfall on top of the mountain there, it got much worse. So we decided to head down and head back to the cabin. So I got one group walking right now. Gabe, Josiah, and I are sitting. This is the area that we're looking at. We're hoping that some elk will come down from that way over there, or come down from that way over there into that bowl. We saw them on the hill on Friday. Saw a couple herds of mule deer, but other than that, pretty quiet. The wind has died down today, which is nice, so hopefully they're moving more. There were scattered snowstorms throughout the evening. You can kind of see them in the distance. But here's the view of the evening sit. Very peaceful. For our last day, we decided to hike back up Albany, hoping that the elk would come out onto the food plot. There was a storm coming in around noon, so we know we didn't have much time, so we headed up right away. We set up camp close to where we had before, and we split up into different groups, one sitting and one walking. At first, our heater didn't want to work, so Dad had to come back and fix it. But the storm had already come in, and the wind was picking up, so our morning hunt did not last long on the mountain.
I
Well, the three of us, me, Nathan, and Mike, are gonna start heading back. With this storm coming in, we think the elk are all hunkered down in the national forest, and we're gonna see what we can do scoping the south. But otherwise, it looks like, again, our luck is not in our favor.
We spent the rest of the day glassing down south, but the storm grew further south, ending our hunt early on the last day. So, no elk, but not an unsuccessful trip. We got to spend time with friends and with family, take a break from normal life, and have some fun.
No!
Same thing. Did you actually take it off?
Here, look at my cards. Where you at?
Where are you?
What the fuck? Just pass from over the table.
No, you never know if they drop. You never know if they drop.
Yeah, okay. Who?
You guys could secretly meet under there.
Oh.
You looked it up. Oh, there you go. It's better.
Yeah. Okay.
This is probably the last of our Wyoming elk hunting trips for the foreseeable future. Turning to Arizona, hopefully we'll have more success. But Wyoming has been a good place for us the last several years and last several trips. Always remember good times and praise God for those times.
Bye.